I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences.
It started with whispers. Then it became leaked documents. Now it's official. Iman Shumpert is suing Teyana Taylor over custody of their daughter. Fans who once praised their mature co-parenting are now witnessing that calm unravel in real time. What was once handled behind the scenes has erupted into a public legal war. No more rumors, no more speculations, just court filings, testimony, and a growing sense that the peace they promised is gone. But what really happened? What drove a relationship once defined by love and artistry into a courtroom? And more importantly, when the lights go off and the cameras stop, who's really fighting for their child, and who's just fighting? Teyana and Iman were once considered unshakable. Relationship goals. From stunning photo shoots to music video cameos, their chemistry seemed cinematic. Even after their quiet breakup, both were praised for keeping things mature. They spoke often about co-parenting with grace and balance. But something changed, and not gradually. The shift was sudden. Legal documents surfaced showing Iman had filed for joint custody. Not sole. Not full control. Just joint. But his statements raised eyebrows. He claimed Teyana's travel schedule made her unavailable for consistent parenting. He said he wanted to be involved. Not just present, but responsible. Teyana's response? Direct. She stated she had always been the primary caregiver. She said parenting isn't just about time, it's about intention. What shocked fans wasn't just the disagreement, it was how detailed both sides were prepared to be. In court, privacy dies. And in its place comes evidence. The first hearing wasn't just tense, it was transformative. Sources inside the courtroom say the judge didn't spare feelings. He wasn't there to referee celebrity egos. His statement made that clear. This child deserves presence, not performance. That one line broke the internet. It was shared across every fan page, blog, and parenting forum. Because it hit home. He looked both parents in the eye and asked, "When was the last time you both sat down and had dinner with her? Not on FaceTime. Not through a screen. Physically present." The silence in the courtroom was heavy. Teyana looked down. Iman didn't respond. That moment wasn't about winning, it was about reflection. Suddenly, it didn't matter who posted the better birthday tribute or who had more fans backing them online. The judge was asking the real question, are you both there? Really there? And for once, the image didn't match the reality. The documents themselves were another storm. Iman's legal team submitted screenshots. Texts allegedly between him and Teyana regarding missed visits. Timestamps showing missed school pickups. Claims that tour dates had interfered with routine. It wasn't an attack, it was an argument. One built on patterns, not personality. Teyana's side pushed back hard. Her team submitted calendars, flight logs, even testimony from caregivers and staff. They claimed Iman's visits weren't denied, they were poorly timed. They said he was painting her as absent when she was the one holding things down while balancing a global career. What shocked fans most wasn't just how much proof both sides had. It was how deeply personal all of it had become. These weren't vague statements. They were real moments. Documented. Archived. And now, submitted into evidence. Online, the reaction was swift and brutal. Twitter exploded into a storm of threads, hashtags, and hot takes. Some fans stood by Iman, saying he was stepping up when it counted. Others felt betrayed by Teyana, questioning how someone so vocal about motherhood could end up here. One TikTok with over 2 million views compiled interviews where both said, "Our child always comes first." The comments section was a battlefield. "Then show it," one user wrote. Another said, "If love was real, it wouldn't be in court." But others defended them both. They are human. Parents mess up. Doesn't mean they don't love her. The split wasn't just about loyalty, it was about perception. Public figures are always judged more harshly. And once the public turns, even the truth gets distorted by the noise. Then came the family drama, and that's when everything exploded. The kind of explosion that doesn't happen all at once, but in little cracks that eventually split everything wide open. It started with a leak. Not from a blog or a fan page, but allegedly from someone inside the family itself. A screenshot surfaced, supposedly from Iman's sister, calling Teyana toxic, claiming she was manipulative, and accusing her of weaponizing their daughter to maintain control. It was a bold accusation, raw and unfiltered, and it spread across the internet like gasoline meeting fire. Moments later, as if the universe had planned a perfect storm, another screenshot appeared, this time from someone claiming to be Teyana's cousin. The message was short but sharp. "Y'all don't raise her, we do." It was a reply, but it read like a warning, like a shot fired back in defense of something deeper. And just like that, it escalated. Screenshots of group chats began circulating, supposedly from family WhatsApp threads. Some showed arguments about birthday parties gone cold. Others hinted that school documents had been submitted without Iman's name listed as a guardian. The authenticity of the messages was never confirmed. But by then, it didn't matter. The damage was done. The fire was lit, and no one was putting it out. Through it all, both Teyana and Iman remained publicly silent. No posts, no press statements, not even a vague Instagram story. And in today's world, silence speaks volumes. Because when celebrities say nothing, people don't just move on. They fill in the blanks. Fans, haters, gossip accounts, everyone becomes a storyteller. And those stories become louder than facts. People start drawing conclusions from tweets, likes, who unfollowed who, what wasn't said. Silence, in the chaos of the internet, doesn't protect, it provokes. And with every hour that passed without a statement, the narrative spun faster and faster out of control. But underneath all the noise, beyond the screenshots, the drama, the dragging, was something far more important, and far more fragile: a child. A daughter. A little girl whose name kept getting mentioned, but whose voice wasn't being heard. And that's the part that hit hardest for many fans watching this unfold. Because at its core, this wasn't just a custody battle. It wasn't just celebrity gossip. It was about something deeper: clarity. Who shows up? Not just on camera or in court, but in the invisible hours. Who packs lunches? Who braids hair before school? Who sits through tantrums and reads the same bedtime story 3 times in a row without checking their phone? Love is loud in public, but parenting is quiet. It's boring sometimes. It's early mornings and late nights and messy schedules. And judges don't care who looks better on Instagram. They care about consistency, about structure. They ask, who creates stability? Who's willing to set aside pride to make a child feel secure? Because love is beautiful, but it isn't enough, not legally. The court wants to see evidence, patterns, presence. And maybe that's where things started to fray. Too much performance, not enough presence. Too much pressure to protect image, and not enough attention to the day-to-day. Fame is greedy. It doesn't just ask for time, it devours it. And in the midst of music videos, brand deals, red carpet obligations, and endless headlines, it's easy to forget what really matters. The world might remember the show, but kids remember who was there when they cried, who looked them in the eye when they asked a question, who sat with them in silence when they didn't have the words. Now, the judge has stepped in, and both parents have been ordered into mandatory co-parenting mediation. It's not glamorous. It's not Instagrammable. It's private, and it's hard. Because mediation doesn't care about celebrity status. It strips away the branding, the fans, the PR spin. It forces 2 people to face the question: can you put the child first, even if it means compromising your ego? Can you sit in a room with someone you may not trust, someone who may have hurt you, and still build a structure that protects your daughter? That's the challenge now. And it's not one that can be performed. It has to be lived. Teyana's legal team has made moves already, filing for limited press engagement. They've asked media outlets to respect the process, fearing that more distortion could influence public opinion in ways that are harmful not just to her, but to the child. Meanwhile, Iman's camp has gone dark. No quotes. No leaks. Just silence. Some say that's strategic, that his lawyers have told him to hold back, let things cool down, and avoid feeding the beast any more than necessary. Others think it's guilt. That he knows the messages from his side hit too hard, too fast, and he's trying to take a step back before the court sees it as aggression. But no matter what the strategy is behind the scenes, the public is watching closely. And in these situations, everything matters. Every post, every absence, every passive-aggressive like. The next court date is just weeks away, and the pressure is mounting. Both Teyana and Iman know that perception matters, not just in court, but to the people who used to admire them as a family. Because at one point, they were goals. They were black love. They were real ones. And now they're a cautionary tale. A case study in what happens when two people fall apart publicly, and their child becomes collateral damage in the fallout. And that's what people can't stop thinking about. The child. Because while the world debates who's right and who's wrong, there's a little girl growing up. Watching. Listening. Maybe not reading the headlines yet, but absorbing the tension. Feeling the shift. Children notice more than we think. They may not understand the details, but they feel the vibe. And right now, that vibe is loud, chaotic, messy, and it's her reality. So what happens now? No one knows. The future of this family isn't going to be decided in a comment section. It's going to be decided in therapy rooms, in mediation meetings, in quiet apologies and humble compromises. It's going to take work, not the kind you get paid for, but the kind that costs everything. Pride, anger, fear. It will require both Teyana and Iman to ask themselves a hard question. What matters more, your pain or her peace? Because this isn't about being right anymore. It's about being better. Not better for fans, or followers, or brands, but for the child who didn't ask for any of this. The one who just wants both her parents to be soft, and stable, and safe. The one who deserves a childhood not shadowed by screenshots and court hearings, but filled with laughter, presence, and love that doesn't need to be posted to be real. In the end, everything else is noise. Headlines fade. Opinions change. But the impact of these years, these decisions, will echo in her life forever. And everyone's hoping, quietly, that somehow, amidst the wreckage, these two can figure it out. Not for the world. Not even for each other. But for her. Just her. This case isn't about gossip. It's about guardianship. And while the judge can rule, healing has to come from both sides. Will Teyana and Iman put peace before pride? Or will this become another celebrity custody cautionary tale? Drop your thoughts below. Who do you think is trying harder to make it right? And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This story isn't over. In fact, it's just starting to unfold.